Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Missle Industries Ford Falcon 351 Crusty Wagon Project. Now, this is part 2 of my door repair video that I started last weekend but ran out of time to complete. So it's 9 AM in the morning on a Saturday. Hopefully I can get enough time in the shed this weekend to finish the welding on this door. And I'm going to say it now, maybe get the second door off the car, the driver's side door, and give that a bit of rust repair too, because that actually has rust in the inner and outer at the back corner. It's probably a bit worse than that once I delve into it, but that door is still attached to the car right now. So that's the lofty goal set for this weekend. Finish this door, take the driver's door off, have a crack at that door as well, and hopefully if things go well, I'll have both those doors back on the car by the end of this episode. I've said it out loud now and it sounds pretty unrealistic at this stage. I've got lawns to mow and family things to do, but we'll soldier on. So before I go sealing this lower door up with more metal, what I thought I'd do is give this all a bit of a rust treatment on the inside of the door, because these sections of metal here, they butt together, and I assume over years and years and years these two sections of metal that are probably both untreated end up just cavitating out and rusting. Now the inner door frame has a few pinholes in it along that seam there, and I'm just going to leave that as it is, because if I attempt to weld that up it's probably going to just lead to bigger holes. So I'm going to rust treat it all, put some new pieces of metal in place over these holes that aren't destroyed, like that piece, and wrap it all up. As I mark out my metal, it occurs to me that I should probably err on the side of conservatism, because I have other repairs ahead of me yet that will take advantage of this radius. So I'm going to be conservative and see if I can get both of these repair sections out of this end of this piece of metal, and then the rest of this piece of metal can be sacrificed for the driver's side door. Frugality be thy name. Time for a spot of welding. So far so good. Might just run all those tacks together and grind it up and see how obvious it is. Time to do a bit of grinding. Bad effort for a first crack, in my opinion. It's a bit of a rust hole there I'm going to patch up, but overall, what once was this is now this. Pretty happy with that. Progress has been rapid. I reckon I'll tack that in and see if I can avoid any excess warpage. And, weld that in. More progress is had. That's a bit of a lip there, which I don't think I'm going to be able to solve by welding, but bog will certainly fix it. Right then, let's get grinding. Apparently lunch is on its way, so I'll run the grinder over this. I might be forced to make a patch for that bit there, because welding is not going to help solve that problem. Panel number 3 about to be deployed. Gave the rest of the lower door a bit of a grind up, and I'm reasonably happy with that wavy divoted mess, because it's all metal now, and that's what we want. That's why we're here, to turn this rusty door into a not rusty door. Well, it's not pretty, and it gets a bit wavy towards the end here where the metal was pressed down in the corner, and it's bulged out here. Doesn't matter. It's going to be below the door line, so I'll grind it back and see if I can salvage it so it looks somewhat tidy compared to the rest of it. So there you have it. Metal welded in. It's not particularly tidy or professional, but that's not really what we're about here. We're about budget, and this will do. I would consider this to be one adequately repaired passenger side door. I think that will do. I might put some paint on it. Tempted as I was to put bog on it, that's just going to take up more of my precious time today. So I'll throw primer on it, and then I will stick it back on the car. Move on to the next door. Video update time. The right side door is on the panel frame. The left side door is back on the car. Now it's time to examine the rust on this door. Now this doesn't have any rust issues at the front because it was thoroughly coated in oil or grease or something, and it's kept the rust right at bay. But the back corner did not escape. Pretty bad on the outside skin, but only in the back corner right here. So I suspect it's probably where all the dirt has ended up, and it's just rotted out the inside of the door. So let's get into this, cut it open and see how bad it is. Hiding your rust repairs, or should I say hiding the rust with bog, is never the solution. Look at the state of that. A little bit of time with the wire wheel has exposed how horrendous it is. Just going to go ahead and start cutting that up. Let's see what we have. I expect I'm probably going to have to cut away. I'm going to have to cut away a little bit more of the outer skin than I have the inner skin, because that looks like it's really rusty. Oh, it's filled with bog. That wouldn't have helped. It not rust, that is. Craftsmanship. So what I think I'm going to do this time round is weld the outer skin in first, because having the back open will give me more opportunity to get it lined up better. And hopefully I can avoid warping the bottom of the door frame by doing the outer skin first. Because you should see the passenger door. Whew! And that's the right door, outer door skin repair welded in. I'll give that a bit of a grind back now. See how much worse it looks once I've knocked all of the welds down. And there you have it. There's quite a bit of bog on the upper edge of this, so I will just end up blending that back into the bottom lip, hiding that ridge line there. I'd like to grind away more of that, but the more I grind, the more I'm concerned I'm going to completely destroy the integrity of the patch that I've just put in by grinding too much off it. So let's just leave that as it is. There is the inner door frame welded up. I used a piece of front guard. It's inside out, so the body deadener is on the outside there. Bent it into shape to match that contour there. I've done a pretty rough job of this because it's getting late, and I'm going to have to wrap the rest of this video up tomorrow. So yeah, that will do for the day. So it's the next day. Time to get that driver's side door sorted out and reinstalled. I won't be doing any lawn mowing today because it's raining. Ah, it's too bad. This means I'll be doing shed stuff. The plan here is to throw some black paint on this bit here and be done with it. Put some primer on the outside of the door, wait for that to dry, and put the door back on the car. While I wait for the paint to dry, I might have a bit of a look on the driver's side footwell rather, and see if there's anything I need to repair while the door's off. Because yesterday, while I was in between jobs, I spotted a wee hole in the floor of the passenger side that I'd done nothing about. And I thought to myself, before the door goes back on, just fix that little hole up. So that's what I did. Cut a section out of there, welded a new piece of metal in, and that's that for that. I should probably put those last two door bolts back in too. Ah, just like I bought one. So after a bit of wire wheel action, this floor pan on the driver's side is actually looking pretty damn good. What I mistook for rust ended up being red dirt, pretty much in everything, and it's looking pretty good. I might just leave that as it is. I've got to say I'm tempted to throw some rust inhibitor down on all of that, but realistically all this interior has to come out in the future so I can properly clean the car out and apply some car builder's body deadener, but that's going to be a project for the future. But for the time being, I think I'm just going to put the door back on, wrap this episode up. Alright, it's time to open the door for Dad. Summary time for episode 21 of Missle Industries Ford Falcon Crusty Wagon Project. As you can see, the door's back on, and I've got to say the driver's door went back on almost as well as it came off. So this one isn't sagging horrendously and chronically out of alignment. So that's good news. It's only the passenger door that I'm going to need to do some fine adjusting to get it to look less shithouse. So that's this episode wrapped up. Both front doors repaired, both doors back on the car. I've done a bit of other work off camera around the footwells to see if I can improve the state of the floors before I go sealing them up. I have also reattached the brake booster and the brake pedal, and I've discovered that the master cylinder is indeed leaking because I refilled it with fluid weeks ago and it's actually seeping out across my freshly painted brake booster. So I'm going to have to buy another one of those. So join me next time for episode 22 of Missle Industries, where I'm not sure what I'm going to do just yet. Fix the brakes, pull out the interior, paint the bonnet. I don't know. I'll figure something out. What I will need to do this afternoon is edit this video, so rather than gin about in here any longer, I'm going to sign off and go do some editing. Hopefully you can see this evening if I pull the finger and get it all sorted out.